gentlemen and female gentlemen, every gender that's around, and people that aren't in California, welcome to a brand new video. So over here, you can see we have people on the ground, press on the ground. This is Hamas, Diddy, Bin Laden, Epstein, Adolf Piker. He wants the death of Jews and also the death of the Western world. We very much like having him around because he makes sure that there's always some entertainment going on, you know? So I always appreciate when he's not sleeping with children at Diddy parties because that always, honestly, it makes things more exciting. Currently, his newest grift is going out to protests in LA and wears a press vest, right? He puts on a little vest that says press on it and he goes and he protests. He's the largest leftist political streamer. I think he picked this trick up, honestly, from other people that wear press vests that are involved in forms of riots. But today, I want to talk about a little certain instance that's been going on in LA. Something a little diabolical. So this individual, the Sargon of Akkad, I've seen a couple of his videos before. He made a documentary worth of videos describing in great detail that he thinks this is an organized coup militarily designed by the Mexican government teaming up with liberals in America to insurrect the current government. Now, when I first heard this, I was like, please. But then, you know, you start looking at, like, you know, the definition of insurrection, right? An insurrection is an organized, usually violent act of revolt or rebellion against an established government, governing authority of a nation state or another political entity by a group of its citizens or subjects. Also, any act engaging in such a revolt. This is literally an insurrection. There's like no, an insurrection, there is no two ways about it. Like, you can't make up a better description of you got people that are waving flags of another country, burning down your shit, and they're not listening to the laws of the government, and the actual establishment in California is defending them. So, all right, let's dive into this shit show, and let's make fun of some retards, eh, gamers?
So currently there have been massive protests against immigration and customs enforcement in Los Angeles, California, because many of the residents there don't want illegal immigrants there to be deported.
Yep.
If you look at the diversity of Los Angeles County.
Well, also, a lot of illegal immigrants don't want to get deported, so they've partaken in these protests. As far as I understand, already over 330 illegal immigrants were captured at these protests. I'm pretty sure.
You realize that 48.6% apparently are Hispanic or Latino.
Wow.
Any race, and white, not Hispanic or Latino are 28.9%. And this, of course, goes some way to explaining why currently the character of these protests are very Mexican. Because lots of people from Mexico will doubtless be in California, particularly Los Angeles, illegally.
Makes sense.
And so it shouldn't be too much of a surprise when they start rioting, they're waving Mexican flags. Now,
makes sense.
This is pretty provocative, and frankly, I
mean, that's the point of it.
Don't know why the Americans have to tolerate it.
Oh, shit. Oh, right, I totally forgot this guy's British, right? We're getting the British look at this shit that's going down.
Now, one thing, the most common question is, well, weird. Why are all these people protesting about being sent back to Mexico if it's such a terrible place? Because they're flying an insane amount of Mexican flag.
God. Dude, that's the meme that literally everyone does. Everyone does that meme. It's like, look at all these people flying flags of countries that they desperately don't want to go to.
This is, of course, an old meme. And the point is that it's not really about Mexico.
Make America Mexico again. Viva Mexico. Okay, buddy, back to Mexico you go. No, it's unfair, not Mexico.
As a country, it's about the collective Mexico as a people.
Oh.
It is about the notion of them and theirs versus you and yours.
Interesting.
And you can see this in various other ways, because as Viva Fries pointed out, they're wearing the keffiyeh, the Palestinian.
I've made so much fun of this because I think it's so hilarious, bro. It's the funniest shit in the universe. It's like, dog, pick a struggle, bro. You got people out there. Like, how do you have these people chanting Mexico and Gaza are, like, literally the same situation? They are not even remotely similar.
Garb as well while they're doing it. And so it's not really about Mexico as Mexico. It's really about Mexico as opposition to the United States.
He's completely correct here. I've been saying this the entire time. It is an anti-Western philosophy that has gripped every college, every single college, every organization. That's what it's about. Because the actual dynamics of Mexico and Gaza could not be more different than each other. Literally can't be more different than each other. However, the purpose is anti-West, and that's it.
This is the issue, and therefore it can fold into itself various other resistance movements that are also against the United States.
Because the way I kind of see it, to be honest, is it's like the neo-Marxist mentality, where you have a lot of people that they view the world as oppressor and oppressed. And anyone that's the oppressor is the bad guy. Anyone that's the oppressed is the good guy. In their mind, the oppressors are the white colonizers, which in their mind would include your average white guy in America, Israel, any Western nation, or, white people in Europe. Like, these are the bad guys, because they are the quote-unquote oppressors. They are the strong class. Like, and if you look at the world through that mentality, that oppressor bad, well, then you'll understand why they get all this, like, anti-white, messaging in their protests.
This is an express declaration that they are opposed to the United States. So you get the sort of people like this, if they're so proud, why are they fighting so hard not to be sent back? Well, it's not about being in Mexico.
True.
As far as they're concerned, Mexico is wherever they are. The people are Mexico. It is not the country that is Mexico. The country is only Mexico because of the people that make it up. And so when you have a county that's, say, half Mexican, well, they feel that that's Mexico, especially during, I imagine, the concentration. It's very clumped together. It's the same reason that when they have protests about Pakistan here, they wave the Pakistani flag. It's the same reason that in
True. Not that they want to go back to Pakistan, obviously, or they wouldn't be immigrating out of Pakistan. But the point is, it's anti-West values. And it's like that everywhere. It's like, it's such a warped philosophy. I wonder how they got to this point of brainwashing. Like, look, maybe I'm biased. I love America. I think America's awesome. I think being proud of who you are or where you came from or shit like that, and not blaming people because of the sins of their grandparents. Like, I feel like it's such a gross culture. Like, it really is. It's like, it's insanity.
Germany, when there are Turkish protests, they wear the Turkish flag. It's not about the country, it's about the people and what the people symbolize and make present and embody. And it's a statement of us for us against you as you. We are for ourselves, and this is our flag. You are the evil Americans, and we will burn your police and try to set up essentially a kind of autonomous colony.
Yeah, which is insane, because you're part of America, there are American laws, and this is an amazing thing, obviously, because you need laws for a country to function. And these people, it's insane. They're fucking destroying the entire goddamn country through this shit. Like, they're activating sleeper cells of protests across the country, too. Like, it's insanity. And the craziest part is, unironically, that the government in California is playing ball with them. And it's, like, actually supporting them. Like, it's crazy to me.
Because that's what you're looking at here, is a colony. This is the product of a colony. Again, they're not rioting not to get sent back to Mexico. I mean, a lot of the people involved, I bet, are not illegal immigrants.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
I bet they are citizens of the United States. But that's not what this is about. However, it should be, as Jason here points out, every Republican campaign ad 2026, because it symbolizes precisely what the issue is. These people are not for America. They're just prepared to take advantage of America. And if you are foolhardy enough to just allow them to set up massive ethnic colonies in important places in the United States, then they're prepared to quite happily come in and take them. I mean, this is how they ended up leaving the Mexico in the first place, right? The Mexicans offered. And
It's like, it's so funny every single time. It's so funny every single time. You can't make it up, bro. We want to come to your country because our country is shit. And now we want to make your country exactly like the country that we just left. Yes, yes! Infinite logic jutsu. It doesn't stop. It makes so much sense. Obviously, that's what the plan is. For sure, totally.
Anglo colonists to come and live in it. And they're like, okay, we don't want to be a part of Mexico because we're not Mexicans. And you're getting the same thing in reverse here.
Yeah, I'll be real. If you plan on immigrating to a country, you should want to become part of the country and be a contributor to that country. It's always so shocking to me when I hear about people be like, yeah, I'm going to move to this country and now I'm going to pray for the downfall of that country. And you have so many people that do this, especially in the school system, right? You have all these people that are losing their student visas through the Trump administration. These are people that actually and actively wanted to contribute to the downfall of Western civilization. So why the fuck are you in American school? You are literally an enemy of the country coming to destroy the country from the inside. If you are not planning to assimilate to the country, why are you immigrating to the country? I'm not saying that you have to assimilate like 1,000%, become, you don't have to become Christian to move to America, let's say. But at the same time, dude, you should want to contribute to the benefit of the country as a whole. It's shocking to me to see this every single time. And it's all over the place. And the worst part is the hardcore far left establishment wants this to happen. They literally opened their borders to this shit. Obviously, if you have people coming from another country with another culture, those guys are not going to integrate if they join en masse. And obviously, they are gonna want to change shit up from the inside. It's crazy to me that this is considered a respectable and normal strategy.
Question is, well, what are you going to do about that?
Yeah.
These people are quote-unquote naturalized American citizens.
True.
They don't seem to care that you think that. I mean, this is an open declaration to a foreign people and nation.
It does seem that way. I mean, the way I see it is if you are not legal in the country, you gotta go. You gotta go. Absolutely. You gotta go. And there just needs to be better vetting. I don't know. I feel like if you just did something like, and you need to punish criminals. I feel like these are like incredibly obvious things that any normal person would agree with. Unless you are a liberal white woman on Facebook or on TikTok. Then you might be like, if you see a person crying and you have no empathy, you're not even human. Like those people, yeah, those people are not gonna have it that way.
And so make of that what you will, but it definitely makes the civic identity of America and Americanism under question, right? It puts that under question because those people who are like, yeah, well, if you just come to America and you say, I support American, the American dream and the American values, and I have citizenship, then you're just as American as anyone else. A lot of these are going to have that. But are they just as American as anyone else? They're just as American as anyone else? I think that actually...
I mean, look at Hasan Piker. He kind of became an American citizen, not super legally. I'm pretty sure his parents, were not legal in the country when they had him, right? Was that I don't remember the situation. He became a naturalized American citizen. That dude does not like America. That dude is the antithesis to American values. I'm not saying to deport Hasan, while I do think it would be very, very funny. And I would like it a lot. And I would like it very, very much. Very, very much. It would be very funny. It would make me very happy. I'm still not saying that I support it and I think it needs to happen. Because, you know, he's technically an American citizen. I think that there's some nice prison cells in America that you can put him in. But if you're not legal in the country, you gotta go. I feel like this should be like an incredibly basic opinion. And yes, Hasan is antithetical to, you know, the values of the country that he is in. I'm not just saying it like as a joke. And it's not just because he goes to these protests that are involved in looting and burning shit and lighting cars on fire and attacking police officers. It's not even that. He says it with his own mouth. Here, let me see if I can find this. See if I can find this clip. Found the clip. Dude, look at this shit. And tell me you don't think this is vile.
There should never be an instance where they deploy troops to Los Angeles unless there is like a literal invasion, okay? Which, you know, in which case it would be really sad because I would probably link up arms with our Chinese overlords to bring about the Chinese century of prosperity. There should never be an instance where they deploy troops to Los Angeles unless there is like a literal invasion, okay? Which, you know, in which case it would be really sad because I would probably link up arms with our Chinese overlords to bring about the Chinese century of prosperity.
Like, it's so crazy to see these clips because he is straight up admitting that he is praying for the downfall of the West. Like, he genuinely does want that shit. And it's so wild. It's so wild. It's so wild because he says it all the time. It's not a joke if you say it all the time and you prove with your actions and words that that is what you believe in.
A polity is not just held together by rules. It is held together by bonds of kinship and friendship. Going back to literally Aristotle's observation of how a polity is created and sustained, and you can see that the liberal fiction that it is just rules and just an ethos and just a pledge that can hold things together, well, I don't think that's correct. I'm not sure that it can. It is sufficient. And so you can see resistance movements coming together, recognizing each other as valid allies in the great struggle against the United States itself. And so people have pointed out, well, this is perfect propaganda for Trump. That is absolutely true. This is perfect propaganda for Trump. But I don't think people realize...
Yeah, Trump. They're never going to get rid of Trump. Every 4 years, cry out Trump, you freeze him, you farm, you pull him out, he'll win again. He'll keep winning until he can't win no more. Everything is going to keep working out for Orange Man to win. Dude, look at this shit.
That's exactly why this is perfect propaganda. This is perfect propaganda for Trump because Trump, without thinking about it, genuinely embodies a sort of quintessential Americanness that these people are openly rejecting.
True.
But the question is, well, what do you do? Is it sufficient to merely deport the illegals? And the answer is really no, right? I mean, you're still going to have millions of Mexican flag-waving Mexican nationalists who are living in a colony in the United States.
Oh, that's a take.
Doing
All
a
right.
kind of reverse Texas of taking it back through demographics. Really, you kind of need a way of understanding who among them shouldn't be here, and that can't really be based on merely a piece of paper. I mean, I don't know whether America can naturalize people or anything like this, but...
I mean, to be honest, I think the number one most important thing is specifically getting rid of illegal immigrants, right? Getting rid of illegal immigrants, because they are not legally in the country. They should be deported. According to the law, follow the law we have and get rid of all the illegal immigrants. That's one. And two, punish criminals. I think if you do these two things, a lot of this shit is going to end up kind of just bleeding into the background.
But this is something that might be worth exploring, because these people are not in your country to be Americans, right? The promise of being an American is something they openly reject, and you can see it in their symbols. And if America is a propositional nation, well, if you don't hold the proposition of being an American, then you're not an American, and you're something else, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know if it's specifically like a race thing. Like you have a lot of your, you go to college and you see like your average soy boy in college. That dude does not embody any American principles either. So, I mean, I don't know. I think realistically, you gotta obey the rule of law. I think realistically, we live in a beautiful country with laws, and every single violator of these laws should be punished to the extent of those laws. I think it's literally that simple. It's literally that simple. And then you'll see, who knows, maybe there's going to be some step further that's going to be worse that you'll need to deal with as time goes on. But as things stand right now, I feel like that's mainly the issue. Like, if all the people in this picture that partook in a violent protest were arrested for it, other people wouldn't want to protest. And I think that because they're not going to be punished for this, other people are just going to be like, hey, they got away with it, I'll get away with it too. And they'll get really cool pictures for social media for it. Look at me, guys, I'm a selfie protester.
But it's understandable why people are sick to their stomach on this. Because if America was just a constitution and it was just an ethos, then really, and you'll get lots of people in the center-left going, well, I don't support what they do, but I support their freedom to do it. And it's like, yeah, okay, you can do that. But I
mean, I don't support the freedom of lighting cars on fire and beating people up personally.
The issue that Sadie is bringing up here, the reason it makes her sick to her stomach and pissed, is because the thymotic, the spirited part of the soul that believes and understands in the collective identity of what it is to be an American is being affronted by this, which is why they're doing it.
Absolutely.
They know
it is 1000% to offend you. It is to offend you and it is to attack you where you belong. It's like the people that'll hit you with like a personal insult. It's a personal insult. It's like saying, ha, I know that your mom died, in like some, vitriolic way to make you feel shitty, right? It's like, how is the ass cancer that killed your mom? It's the same idea. It's attacking you on a, on a integral level to your being. You are American. They were given this opportunity to be in America. And what are they doing with the opportunity? They are trying their best to destroy your country. I totally get why this pisses people off, realistically, for sure.
They are shoving it in the faces of those people who are not merely administratively or paper Americans, and saying, look, you people who feel a deep and emotional connection to a nation that is the American nation, well, fuck you. Here's me burning something down in your country, standing proudly with an American flag, and resisting any of your state's attempts.
Yeah, that's not exactly an American flag, last I checked.
To do anything about this. And there are people like, look, this is why people are rooting for the feds. Absolutely correct. This is creating, I mean, honestly, Trump couldn't have asked for a better turn of events.
No, dude. No, this is like an actual mandate from God. Trump, everything he said was more than justified. He called it an invasion. Now everyone's calling it an invasion, right? He said that there's like foreign powers that are using sleeper agents that are going to try to take over America violently. He was proven correct. He said that illegal immigrants are violent and they are dangerous to the country. He is proven right. Everything he said was proven right on a way that is so, I think even he didn't expect to be proven this right.
For a better course of events than not only for them to riot, but to riot with foreign flags, right? If they were rioting with American flags, arguing from a constitutional right of some kind, then Trump would be in a much more difficult position, because it'd be like, oh, right, our fellow Americans are upset about something. But in this case, it looks instead like Trump is dealing with a hostile occupying force.
Oh, shit.
That declares itself openly to be against the Americans.
Oh!
And so, yeah, why wouldn't the Americans root for the feds, who are at least representatives of America? They're at least themselves Americans. Why wouldn't people be rooting for them? It is creating a moral unity between the American government and the American base. Yeah. Those people who are actually American. And so this is an entirely good thing for Trump. I mean, this is just such a good thing. On Monday, I don't doubt that on the podcast, Firas will probably want to go through the details of this. So I won't go off into the weeds on that or anything like that. but we'll cover this on the podcast tomorrow. But I just wanted to talk about this from this perspective. Say, no, look, these are foreign people, right? These are not Americans, and they are repudiating your country.
A lot of them. The crazy thing is, like, how do you do this as an illegal immigrant, right? You're not legally in the country. You know that if they catch you, they deport you, and you do this shit. Like, what are you doing? What moral are you fighting from? Like, this is a disgusting level of arrogance.
And it is right that it's pissing you off, because you are not merely a propositional nation. Right? Every nation is really based on a shared collective solidarity, based on various sort of kinship ties, friendship, and an underlying sense of collectiveness and togetherness. And that's what's being attacked with this. But like I said, we'll cover it more in more detail.
All right, so he ended up covering it in more detail, to the point that he basically kind of makes it sound like it's a planned foreign invasion. Again, I want to look into this deeper, because it's a really interesting perspective when you look at it. Not just are these people breaking laws by lighting shit on fire, but damn.
So we all agree that this is an ethnic conflict, right? In Los Angeles right now, there are thousands of rioters who have been burning police cars, causing lots of trouble, and waving their Mexican flags and screaming "Viva la Mexico" or whatever it is in Spanish, right?
Yeah, sure.
This is just not something that I think you can contend with. And I think that we can accept that whatever integration was meant to look like, it's failed. These people aren't Americans.
There was no integration. I don't know. It's kind of wild to see this shit. I always wonder, because people talk about integration, right? Someone joins another country, they want to integrate into this other country, to be part of this other country. This ain't it, bro. This ain't it. They didn't integrate, obviously. Now, I don't know why that is. You could say that it's a nationalism thing. Like, people are more connected to their own roots, their own ethnicities, let's say. But I think a lot of it is propaganda. I think a lot of it is actually just propaganda too, you know? It's an actual attack on Western culture. It's crazy. It's crazy to see it happen all the time. And it happens in, like, every single country. That's the wildest part. It's like you wait for something to rile you up, and then you go ham.
They are Mexicans, and they are telling you very, very clearly. And there seems to be some deeply thymotic grievance in that, because as you can see from the people who support them...
No! Look at that, dude! There's no... Never forget 1835, when Mexico had control. Bro, you people are so pathetic. Oh, my lord. Guys, do you remember when people used to be like, this land used to be the Native Americans? This land used to be the Native Americans. Not anymore. Fuck the Native Americans. It's all the Mexican. It's always been Mexico. It's always been Mexico. Why did they speak Spanish? Oh, they got it from Spain. No, I mean, they invented Spanish. They had this land for 20 years. It's literally over. Like, I'm telling you, these people are so retarded. But when you see shit like this, it makes it look like it's not just a movement protesting the law of illegal immigration. It's not. It's about some deep moral hatred to America.
4,500 retweets, 27,000 likes. Yes, once this area of the southwestern United States belongs to a country or an empire called Mexico.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. You managed to get leftists to start glazing the conquistadors. What is happening?
Now, what the administrative capacity of the state was in 1835 over this area governed from here, I mean, I'll leave it to you to think about how dubious the claim was, right? But the point is, America thought...
Dude, borders only matter when we want them to matter.
Also Mexico, they conquered this territory. That's how that works. But you see the issue. It's the same as the Muslims posting Al-Andalus. This is about reconquest to them.
So what I think he's referring to is there's a Muslim concept. Let me see if I can see it. Let me see if I can find someone else explain it that's a lot smarter than me. Let me see if I can find someone else explain it that's a lot smarter than me. Like, there's something in Islam called the House of War, where basically any territory that was ever occupied by Islam is always considered under war, and you need to fight it to reclaim it. Obviously, this is only like only radical Islamists are doing this, obviously, but like, there is a concept like that in Islam. So you'll see a lot of people talking about how the Ottoman Empire ended up conquering Spain or parts of Spain, and you'll have people talk about how they need to reconquer Spain. And it's like, what do you mean reconquer Spain? You failed to conquer it the first time, but now you feel like you need to reconquer it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't find the clip.
They are not Americans. They are Mexicans on occupied territory as far as they're concerned. And what's interesting is...
It's crazy. It's crazy to even think of it that way. Thinking of LA as, occupied Mexican territory is fucking crazy.
This also seems to be the opinion of Mexico's president.
Wow. No, dude.
who said, quote, if necessary, we'll mobilize.
No, dude.
Well, what does that look like?
Oh my God. The Mexican president is telling people to mobilize? Oh, Lord. Oh, no.
Like, what does it look like when Mexico, quote unquote, mobilizes against the United States? Because Donald Trump put a 3.5% remittance tax on money traveling from America to Mexico, which, if I recall correctly, is somewhere in the region of 64 billion in total. And when you look it up, like if you go to Investopedia or something, they're like, oh yeah, Mexico's doing well for like oil drilling, remittance taxes, silver mining. It's like, well, really, that's the second one, is it? It's that big a chunk of your economy. I mean, 64 billion is not small change, right? And so Trump being like, yeah, I want a 3.5% tax on that. Frankly, I think he's definitely cutting that low.
He's making a deal, okay? He's making a deal.
The point is, this is enough of an impact on their economy for them to, quote unquote, mobilize. Again, whatever that means. So the fact that Mexico's economy is so dependent on America and...
it always has been. No, it's crazy because Trump, even as it stands right now, even with all these protests and riots and whatever, Trump is never mentioning that it's like Mexico's fault, right? He's never gone that far. Dude, this is wild. I'm shocked that the Mexico's president said that if necessary, we'll mobilize. Dude, what does that mean, we'll mobilize? How are you involved with protests of Americans in America? Unless they're sleeper agents that were activated somehow. Oh, dude, that's crazy. Like, I am so shocked. Like, this could be like a real conspiracy rabbit hole. Like, actual foreign agents trying to take down the government from within. I don't know, man.
Mexicans in America sending money back to Mexico makes you think, oh, right, okay, so they weren't just coming over to integrate. They weren't just coming over because they wanted the American dream, bro. They're Mexican colonists in the United States. And that's how they see themselves, because look at the way she's framed it. We don't want taxes on remittances from our fellow countrymen.
Yeah, if they immigrated to the United States, are they really your fellow countrymen? Oh, shit, dude, no! No! I feel like I'm falling down the rabbit hole. Oh, no!
I mean, there's just nothing more to be said. As far as she's concerned, the Mexicans that move, legally or illegally, from Mexico to the United States are Mexicans first. In fact, they're Mexicans alone as far as she's concerned. They are the Mexican Empire reconstituting itself, as I said in yesterday's video, like with Texas, frankly. And they are not shy on just saying it. I mean, look, this is what one rioter said, burning the American flag in LA. Quote, my Mexican flag, green, white, and red. That's my flag, not this flag. F this flag. I pledge allegiance to Mexico, nobody else, not this country.
First of all, dude, these people are destroying their entire movement, okay? And second of all, oh my God, this is horrifying. It really is. How could you be American and see this and be like, yeah, I support this, absolutely. Yeah, I support this. Like, dude, they're destroying their own cause. And the fact that you have, like, the governor of California and the mayor of LA literally being on the side of these people, like, defending these people. Dude, and you know people will call me racist for thinking that it's kind of rude.
Okay, so as you can see, and I see, like, brain Republicans being like, oh, if they're protesting so hard, why are they so worried about getting sent back to Mexico? Because it's not about being sent back to Mexico.
Oh shit, here we go. Get ready. I sense the conspiracy coming. Burning a flag is a crime? Burning a flag isn't a crime. What are you talking about? In my opinion, all right, I'm going to tell you something very controversial, and it will get me canceled, but I'm going to say it anyway. Burning a flag is very similar to saying the N-word. It is done to offend a group of people, but it itself is still technically protected under freedom of speech. That's my opinion. It's a shitty thing to do. It's not a crime.
As far as they're concerned,
it's a crime in other countries. Yeah, but dude, we're in the United States of America, goddammit. We're the United States of America.
They rightfully own this land, and if they can occupy it and resist you, then who's to say that they don't? If you can't take this back from them, and honestly, anyone who does this, anyone who says that should be grounds for deportation.
Sheesh! This guy has a wild, heavy-handed stance on deportation. And I get it. His argument is if you're not here to assimilate to the country that you are moving to, get the fuck out. And I get that. I totally get it from like a logical perspective. I really do. I really get it. I do think from a legal perspective, you absolutely have to focus on getting rid of the illegals. You literally have illegal people in the country that you don't even need to worry about this shit. You don't even need to talk about like, different things in that regard. The issue is if you are an American citizen and you disagree with things and you make statements that you don't like, I don't think that should be ground for deportation as it stands. I don't. Because the issue with that is you could basically deport anyone for anything at that point. Like a different government could get in and they'll hear someone say the N-word and they'll be like, oh, deported. you said the N-word, right? And I don't think that's necessarily reason for deportation either. I think if you're not legal in the country, you gotta absolutely get the fuck out, though.
You're like, oh, they might be a naturalized American citizen, so denaturalize them. It can be done at the stroke of a pen. It can be undone at the stroke of a pen, and then ICE can deport them.
Well, if you could actually if you could actually denaturalize people that easily, then yeah, for sure, I hear you. But otherwise, I don't know. I'm scared to stretch the boundaries of just deporting people in general, just because your beliefs do not align with mine. Just because, you know, the next president is going to be a retard in the other direction. All right, you want a president to come in and just start deporting people if they misgender people? It's like, bro, like you called her a him when it's a her. You called a him or her. It's over. Deported. So when it comes to shit like that, I really am scared to make statements like that. But when it comes to illegal immigrants, people that are not legal in the country, get them out. Get them out! It's literally that easy. It is literally that easy. There are 20 million illegal immigrants in America right now. Get them out!
Like, this is not people coming for the American dream. This is reverse colonization, as far as they're concerned.
That's crazy.
You don't have to tolerate this, and you shouldn't tolerate this. And when the president of a foreign country says, we're going to mobilize, that's a threat.
It really is. It really is a threat. I didn't even see this clip of the Mexico president, but that is absolutely a threat.
There's a threat to try and take territory from the United States through demographic displacement. Sorry, it's not, no, she's not just calling for protests, right? What the end goal of this...
First of all, even if she was just calling for protests, by the way, that is still a threat. Can you imagine a foreign government calling for protests in another country? Why are you messing with my country in general? And it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what country you're from. Oh my God.
It is this, right? They aren't shy about telling you, so pay attention. Take them seriously. This is what they mean. They think is their fellow countrymen occupying parts of the United States, which, in their opinion, are currently administered by a foreign government, because it's our fellow countrymen. They're not your countrymen, they're her countrymen. Listen to it, take them seriously.
Damn.
You might be like, okay, these people look, I don't know, maybe like criminals. I mean, assuming they're not in the United States illegally, which they probably are, they're still at least violent, thuggish rioters.
Well, some of them are here illegally, right? They already caught and deported 330 of them. I do absolutely believe a lot of them are illegal, but I think a lot of them are legal. The ones that are legal need to be punished for committing crimes. Dude, I am a big rule of law guy. I don't know if you noticed. I love laws. They're great. I wish we didn't have as many of them as we did. There's a lot. But, dude, if there are laws, the laws need to be kept. Because if you're not going to keep these laws, then there's no reason for other people to. And you just devolve into chaos. Like, I feel like we're watching actual order versus anarchy right now. And that is an unacceptable way to govern a country.
Who probably have connections to cartels and various other things. Let's assume they're just criminals, because there's no reason not to. But she's like, no, they're not criminals, they're heroes.
Mexican president hails migrants as heroes. Dude, that is a foreign power fanning the flames of violence in your country. How the fuck is this, like, how did I not even know this was happening? Like, I knew that the media was playing dirty by calling it mostly peaceful protests. But this is horrifying.
Of course they're heroes, they're her countrymen. So she said the migrants living in the US were heroes while blasting the immigration policies of Donald Trump. Now that's a fascinating thing, because...
Bro, dude, you're stopping Trump from returning your people to your country? No!
Countries don't normally want to give away their valuable human capital, right? The more people there are in the country, the cheaper things are, the more money people make when they're hardworking and patriotic citizens, and they're not just draining off the welfare state.
Sure.
But the point being, normally you don't want to offload large segments of your population onto other countries, because it makes your country poorer, it makes your country weaker. And yet, this is what we're seeing with Mexico and the Mexican president. So this is clearly some kind of strategy in order to occupy places where Mexicans really shouldn't be.
Damn, that is a crazy, crazy ride. I don't know. I wonder if it's that, or if it's like, if they're sending money back or whatever. If they're extending the, I don't know, do the cartels own her or something? That they want to keep Mexican territory in America to make money off that area for the cartels? Like, I don't understand it, but it's scary as fuck. Like, it really is. And it's definitely malicious to some degree.
Anyway, she says, we disagree with this approach to the migration phenomenon. I love that it's just migration phenomenon. It's just something that has happened. Something that's been allowed to happen. It's not about raids or violence, but rather working on a comprehensive reform that takes into account the Mexicans on either side of the border.
Bro, dude.
Well, how about this? The Mexicans on the northern side of the border get just unilaterally deported all of them to the southern side of the border.
Dude, he is super pro-deportation. Yo, that is wild. He's just like, every single person, all Mexicans. Dude, this is like some crazy shit. Dude, this is Trump third term, where he literally doesn't give any more fucks. Every Mexican, we remove all of them. Sorry. No, that's wild. See, but like, that's so sad though, because there are a lot of Mexicans in America that are so grateful that they're in America, right? American immigrants that are literally so happy with that shit, you know? They're so happy with America. Sargon has immigrant fatigue. So the thing is, the reason why I think, I don't think that badly of him for saying this personally. I know that people are going to say I'm a racist just for watching this guy. I don't really know Sargon. I don't watch a lot of his videos. But I know that people are going to make fun of me for watching him and call me a racist just for watching him. He's coming from England, all right? England is like kind of fucked. I don't know if you've been paying attention. England is kind of fucked, bro. England is really bad. It's like really kind of bad out there. They're arresting people for being anti-Islam, like just verbally anti-Islam. They put you in jail. So, I mean, the way I see it personally is if you break laws, you find out. That's how I see it. That is literally how I see it. If you are a Mexican immigrant in America, legally, all the power to you. Try your best to make the most of your life because America's a fucking awesome country. But if you are not here legally, get the fuck out. If you are contributing to these riots at all, jail. I really think it's that easy.
Where they belong, and moreover, where you, the President of Mexico, can administer them lawfully and also morally, how things should be. They pledge allegiance to your flag, they are loyal to you, so they shouldn't be in the United States. This, I think, is an uncontroversial thing to say, and it's also morally uncomplex. The Mexicans in America are not Americans, according to the Mexican president. And she's like, well, Mexicans on either side of the border need to be treated fairly, whatever it is, right? That's our position. Always a call for peace, not to exacerbate any form of violent protest. Although violent...
Sure. Me telling you to not give up and keep protesting is a call for peace. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Dude, these people are such pussies.
Protest is going on. I am going to be like, yeah, they're our guys and they're totally valid. We're not calling for violence, but these are our guys and they're totally valid. And we pledge allegiance to Mexico and we recognize their allegiance, but we're not calling for violence. Right. Okay, interesting. And this was because 35 Mexicans were arrested and deported. Mexicans living in the United States are good, honest men and women who left to seek a better life for themselves and support their families. They're not criminals. Well, apart from the ones that are criminals, right? I'm sure that...
No, dude, every single illegal immigrant's a criminal. I really hate that the media does this trick where they're like violent criminals, because technically every single illegal immigrant is a criminal. They committed a crime by breaking into the country illegally. I absolutely hate the mentality that they don't call them criminal for this. Like, it gets me so frustrated. It's like, dude, a country has borders. Like, it's so shocking to see the perversion of just basic morals, you know? And I feel like I see it almost every single day in the media, again and again and again. It's actually wild.
You know, there are many millions of Mexicans living in America who aren't criminals, but there are also going to be millions who are, right? There are lots of them, clearly, I mean, just in these photos alone, who are criminals. So you can say, and the ones that were arrested and deported.
Apparently there was a debate on Piers Morgan about this where they refused to call them criminals. You've got to be kidding me, bro. Is that true?
The mainstream media...
Is that Dr. Phil? Wait, Dr. Phil's... Dude, that's amazing. Let's see. ICE, immigration, tax networks. Dr. Phil, would you be happy if they were all deported? The feds out here. What it's like on the ground, wear a uniform, kick the criminals out simple. It is that simple!
Okay. We've got people that need to be adjudicated quickly, that have been in the system a long time. Hire the necessary judges, get pro bono counsel, get people on the rolls properly, and you know what? Kick the criminals out. Simple.
Right.
All right. So I'll press the question. Are all people that are in the country illegally criminals?
Simple, but you ended by saying kick the criminals out. But do you categorize somebody who's in the country illegally as a criminal?
If you did not fill out your paperwork properly, okay? The immigration is so complicated here.
Dude, stop. Don't start. No, stop. It's that easy.
Admire the way you handle yourself. Immigration is very complicated, okay? And you have to understand there's such thing as asylum, correct?
Right.
There's proper immigration, correct?
Yes.
There's visa policy, which has many facets to it. There's visa waiver for those that come into the country for visitation. There's proper visa application for
why are you doing
farm
this?
workers.
Just say yes. If they do it illegally, they're criminals.
Day workers.
People like me. I'm on a visa. Yeah.
That's correct. And you follow our laws.
Yes.
And you're here on probation. And if you do violate our laws, then you have due process. Okay? But if you came into this country...
Dude. This guy, by the way, is trying to run for the next governor in California. And so is this guy. This is crazy.
And you violated any of our laws, I have zero tolerance for that. I have a problem with the following.
Wait, so let me get this straight. This guy has zero tolerance for breaking American laws, but not breaking into the country illegally because there's a lot of papers.
I have a problem with the way the Trump administration came in under the cloak of darkness or the day of light.
The fuck is the day of light?
Without telling the governor in advance to set up a perimeter
and
give the governor a chance to give the officers safe harbor to do what they needed to do. That's where I got the problem.
Before I go to the sheriff, just to be clear, do you view people who are in the country illegally as criminals?
That's the question. Do you view people who come into the country illegally as criminals? It's that easy.
If you violate any law in the United States of America...
Well, I'm talking about the mere fact they've entered the country illegally.
Through our porous borders?
Well, just if they've come into the country illegally.
Bro, if you come into the country illegally, if you're here and you overstay your visa waiver,
oh my God!
Illegally, if you're collecting money on a visa waiver, you are collecting money illegally. Due process in the court of
law. God, dude.
Okay, Sheriff Bianco.
He's just like, okay, we're not getting anywhere. Moving on. Oh, little cuck bitch. Look at that guy. It's illegal, but it's not a crime. Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm telling you, that's why they keep losing. There is no continuity. These people make no sense.
Probably literally were illegal immigrants. And there are also thousands of gang members who are not just criminals, but horrific criminals. So to sit there and go, well, you know what? I accept them all and they're all the same. They're good men and women. They're not criminals. Well, you don't know that for a start. But I do find this fascinating. They're honest men and women, who left to seek a better life for themselves and support their families. Why couldn't they be honest and support themselves in Mexico? Is it because Mexico is basically run by criminal cartels and you're probably in bed with them?
No, what do you mean? What are you talking about? There's no criminals in Mexico.
Because if that's the case, why is it not justified for America to actually intercede in Mexico to make it so that honest men and women, honest Mexicans, can actually live in Mexico without being, God only knows, the worst things you can imagine, in fact, sometimes happen.
Yeah, obviously the cartels are not very good people. Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy to watch this. I don't think that every person that's a Mexican nationality that's in America should move out of America. I think that's also extreme. But, dude, there's a reason why there's laws, bro.
So why is that not possible? I mean, I love the picture. Honest, hardworking Mexican. Just...
Nah, dude, this is, like, insane, bro.
I mean, I love the picture. Honest, hardworking Mexican. Just...
Holy shit.
Anyway, she says, Los Angeles wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't for the Mexicans who live there. Because, of course, 48% are Hispanic or Latino. So, yeah, that's probably true, but look at what it's become. Right? It was actually not great that it became 48% Hispanic, and it would be better if the Mexicans and the various others went back to their side of the border, right? That's the way it is.
Right.
I like this. The United States is what it is, thanks also to the work of our fellow Mexicans who live across the border. Again, they're not Americans. She knows they're not Americans.
Bro, dude, why are you doing this? Why is she doing this? She's making this argument that, like, the people that are entering your country illegally are making your country better. It's like, with all due respect, fuck you. There's a reason why there's laws. Are you kind of incentivizing people in your country to invade another country? Like, it's crazy to see this.
She says they're not Americans. Take her seriously. Take the rest of them seriously. They're not lying to you. They're being completely honest. But the liberal mysticism of, oh, well, he's an American now, and he says, I'm here for the American dream.
It's the same shit every single time. Oh, when the guy says death to America, he doesn't actually hate America. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I've said the Pledge of Allegiance. Therefore, he's just as American as I am.
When the people in South Africa say, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, kill the white man, they don't actually mean it. That's just the thing to say. They don't actually mean it.
No, that's not according to the people who are currently rioting in California, right? Not according to the people who are doing this. They don't think so. So don't try to project your Anglo-liberal perspective onto them, because they don't share it. They have a different opinion on this, and again, it's her fellow countrymen, not yours. Be aware. Because again, this is exactly what they think. They're not shy about telling you.
It's crazy. It's crazy how open people are to say this stuff. And the way that no one takes it seriously at all. No one even remotely thinks it's at all suspicious that the president of Mexico is urging ethnically Mexican people in America to protest against a foreign government. It is really scary to think about this.
And they're crystal clear. They're crystal clear. And Newsom, like, I'm not going to go into the response of the authorities because it's been pathetic. And Newsom has been essentially taking ownership of the criminals, which is crazy. When he's saying things like, "Don't give Trump what you want. Stop rioting. Oh, you've given Trump what he wants." It's like, okay, but you are speaking within the frame of the Mexican criminals and rioters are your guys, and the forces of Americanism and law and order are the enemy.
Because that's exactly what they believe. That's exactly what they believe.
And Newsom's like, why is Trump threatening to arrest me for allowing LA to be colonized by a bunch of Mexicans? Well, this isn't on, is it? This is not on. This has to stop.
Okay, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, but why is he threatening to arrest me for committing a crime? You're committing a crime, bro. You are committing crimes. Dude, it's that easy. It's that simple.
And, I mean, I'm going to file a lawsuit against Trump for deploying the National Guard. Why can't you file a lawsuit against the illegals who are doing all of this, or the Mexicans who are doing all of this, who clearly are reneging on their Pledge of Allegiance, assuming they've ever taken one? Like, why are they not important? Why do they not matter? Why is it that you're set against the Americans? Anyway, I could go on, but I won't. The point being, and I really mean this, take them seriously when they say this. They know what they're saying. They know who these people are, and they recognize them as their own against you. They see this as a means of reoccupying territory that they lost.
Yikes. It's definitely a scary perspective. All right, his final video on all of this. Who is actually orchestrating this rebellion? Who is in charge of making this quote-unquote rebellion actually happen?
Last night had the 4th night of rioting
Woo!
in Los Angeles.
Let's go!
Yesterday. And you can see that it's pretty much exactly as you would expect from these things. The majority of the body of protesters and rioters have gone home, and now it's just the troublemakers who are running around and, as Andy
actually looting the stores, destroying property. It's despicable shit.
Andy No reports, looting businesses. There's reports of them looting like a sushi bar and things like this.
Yeah. Obviously, looting sushi bars is definitely going to help keep illegal immigrant families together and protect them from the oppressive government. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, this is what you would expect. Driving around, causing trouble, waving Mexican flags, and looting sushi bars.
Yes, yeah!
This is about the end. This is about the extent of what I expected, because what it is just an excuse to be lawless. Right? This is an open rebellion against the concept of the United States, including the idea of law, order, and property rights.
Yeah, where's the lie? It's all of the classic far left talking points, right? Like it's brutal. It's despicable. I hate it. But it is literally exactly that. It is exactly that. Fuck, man.
But the question is, who is behind this? Because very few things actually happen organically, and local distance.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here's the conspiracy theory. I'm ready. I love it. I support it. At least the bookstores are safe. So true. No, but obviously this is being orchestrated somehow. This is an orchestrated fight against Western civilization, and for whatever reason, that is what's happening.
Talking about the fact that, I mean, the initial energy may have been spontaneous and a frustration to...
Oh, it was absolutely taken over by people who wanted to push some bullshit.
Trump, deporting illegals, but there's definitely organizations that are involved in this, because we know by the resources that are turning up.
Yeah, dude, they're all getting like mass-produced gas masks. Like, obviously this is something that's being designed. People are designing this and hoping that this shit actually takes over and happenings. They're globalizing the empanada, exactly.
And they have tactics, as Wokel points out. So, as you can see here, they have certain kinds of shields. Now, these shields, as he says, were used...
These shields were used by the 2024 pro-Hamas rioters and the 2020 BLM rioters. It's the same people. They orchestrate all of these rebellious fucking bullshits every time. Every time. Bro, dude, holy shit, man. Look, I don't want to get into like this Alex Jones globalist conspiracy theories, but dude, how does this keep happening? How does this keep happening? Who is organizing this? And how is it appropriate to have people literally arming people that want the downfall of your country? How on earth is this appropriate?
Used in 2024 by Hamas rioters and 2020 by BLM rioters.
Funny, huh?
And the shields themselves are not weak. They're there. They actually do the job of a shield, and they can actually defend. You can see they're highly decorated, so they spent a lot of time and effort making them. But you'll notice that the structure of the shield is the same in each case. So these have been
no, absolutely, it's the same. It's the same company. These are mass-produced shields. Dude, holy shit. American capitalism equals racist oppression. Like, dude, do these people even believe what they say? Or are they just handed the talking points, you know?
Manufactured somewhere and then given to the activists. Moreover, they have cardboard signs that are not cardboard signs, but are instead plywood with metal handles. Again, they're there to be used as shields. And this is something that requires planning, it costs money, and someone had to make this happen. Someone had to bring these things into being by manufacturing them and purchasing all the goods for them.
Yeah, obviously, this was orchestrated, without a doubt. And it's so crazy to think about how, like, all the actual people that are rioting and committing crimes, first of all, they should all be arrested if you're committing a crime. Obviously, law, you know, that's how it works. That's how it works. You find out, that's how it happens. I don't want to make the rules. The rules exist. I just enforce them. I fully support that. Absolutely. Fuck around, find out. However, these are the dumb fucks that are just getting manipulated. Like, there are people that are literally puppeteering these absolute retards around for their own gain.
So this is something that we've seen before, as he points out in 2012. They were brought in and distributed to rioters and organized drops. So who...
Dude, who dropped off this truck shipment with an army of shields?
In the U-Haul there, who is the one handing them out? Who's paying for this? Now, there are going to be plenty of NGO-type organizations.
George Soros.
And it genuinely is George Soros funded.
Ah! There he is. I knew it was happening. I knew he was going to say it. I can't believe Jorge Soros is coming out here, bro. Oh, Lord.
Like Pueblos Sin Fronteras and things like this. Like
all those Act Blue, USAID, all these fucking organizations that are sort of contributed to by the government that are kind of literally causing the downfall of Western civilization. It's crazy.
Pro-migrant organizations that are designed to get migrants into the United States, and they will be the ones funneling Soros money into these protests to make sure that they can continue on and be as strong as possible. But it's not just shields and things like that. They have websites with tactics put on them, which Wokel has listed here.
I did not know that. Oh my God. There's no way.
The purpose of the organization is to do things. Right?
They have tactics and strategies. Actual, oh my Lord.
Right. And in this case, you'll see
like these dudes are absolutely contributing to lawlessness in America. They just want the downfall of Western civilization. Like, dude, this is Trump derangement syndrome on another level.
Design your actions so your target is forced to make a decision, and all of the available options play to your advantage. So it's honestly, it's very Alinskyite in that way. And that's what they're doing. They're not stupid. They know precisely what they're doing and what they want.
Kind of sounds like terrorism, not gonna lie. Kind of sounds like terrorism. Like, dude, like definitional terrorism. The unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. Like, this is organized terrorism in America. And no one actually wants to call it out because, oh, you're against freedom of speech when we beat you over the head with a brick. Oh, throwing bricks at cops? That's just peacefully expressing your right of free speech. Am I right, guys? No wonder why Hasan Piker supports this shit. It's crazy.
Ultimately, is for these protests to bring down the Trump government. That's the purpose of them.
Yes, that is an insurrection.
In order to prevent the Trump government from enforcing America's borders. It's literally that simple. That's what this is. And you can see that there are other things that they're doing. For example, this is footage of people giving out American flags to the Mexican nationalists because...
Wow! Organized at the LA protests are assembling and handing out American flags to protesters. This comes after days of footage showing them waving Mexican flags, torching cars, attacking police, burning US flags. It's clear they realize that the optics are bad, so they're intentionally using American flags in an attempt to rebrand and reshape the existing media narrative of the riots. Is that not painful to just hear? Is that not painful to listen to? That is insanity. It's like, oh, we don't want you to think that it's like some sort of Mexican rebellion. No, of course not. No, this is Americans fighting for rights and liberties. Actual mask off propaganda.
Over here points out, they realized the current optics were a disaster. Yes, they were a disaster. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We'll watch this, actually. It's about...
Right on. Thank you. Yeah.
Where'd you get the, wait, where? Because I was on the top. It's like a random guy. Oh, alright. Excuse me. I was with flags. Where did you get this? Okay, oh.
There's just one guy on a corner somewhere that's giving out American flags. Wow, dude. That is brutal.
Are they just giving them out? Yeah.
So as you can hear from that, it's a bit confused, but just a random guys turn up at the protest to give out American flags. So that's very thoughtful of them. Who are they?
Yeah, who's doing that? That's the question. Huh?
Here, you can see the creases on the American flag there. The Mexican flag doesn't.
Wait, holy shit. I see it. No. This is an actual Mexican flag flown by someone that hates America. This is a brand new flag that came out of the plastic wrap 5 minutes ago. No.
Doesn't have any creases on it, like the folded
my
creases
God,
or something. But
dude.
you can see them right there on the American flag. Like, these are brand new flags as well. Fabulous. You can see the creases right there. The Mexican flag doesn't have any of these.
Dude!
The American flag does, because this is about optics. This is about the war that they're waging now against the Trump administration. But, oh, right, yeah. If we have a bunch of foreign nationals running around looting,
looks bad,
burning
obviously.
cars,
Yeah.
and committing various other acts of havoc.
Yeah, that looks bad.
That looks bad.
That looks
Because it
bad.
looks like they're Mexican colonizers.
That's
It
what it
looks like
looks
they're
like, yeah.
violent.
Violent,
So
yeah, that's
get
bad.
some American flags out there.
Yeah,
so
that
we
looks
make
bad.
it look like they give a damn about America.
This is crazy.
But obviously, these people don't care about America. Obviously. Oh, look, he points that out as well. All the American flags still have creases. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And of course, this was noticed on Reddit. Notice it's Mutual Aid Los Angeles. Mutual Aid. This is a term, as far as I was aware, it was coined by Kropotkin. So don't get me wrong, they're definitely communists. But look at this. Mainstream media is trying to create the optic that foreigners are invading, and recent videos are fueling that perception.
Crazy.
Are they? Videos
Look
of
at
Mexico
that.
running around with
Actual
flags
organized
saying, "Fuck
terrorism."
America, and we're going to burn American flags.
Dude, actual organized terrorism. This is terrifying, man.
Creating the optic that foreigners are invading California. Really, they're remarkable. I wonder why it does that. If you're protesting, bring a US flag. Why would they want to? They're against the United States.
Because of the optics, right? They're all about free Palestine and Ukraine, obviously.
At the end of the day, we're in this country. We want to make it better for our people.
Wow. They just say the quiet part out loud, man.
Again, that's the issue, isn't it? The country is actually not the... America is not the people, but Mexico is the people.
Wow.
That's the thing. Power to the people.
Right, white people, they have no race, they have no culture, they're just white generic blobs. But everyone else has a race and a culture that's beautiful, right? Everyone else's culture is beautiful and glorious and wonderful, and we should celebrate everyone else's culture. Yeah, interesting.
Power to the City of Angels. Que viva la raza, or viva the race. My goodness. Consider bringing an upside down flag to show solidarity as well. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. But anyway, you can see the point being, there is someone who is paid to hand out flags. There is someone who is paid to hand out shields and various other riot protesting gear. And now someone has paid trucks of people full of what Fox News have called bionic face shields. Now, the video isn't great on this one. You can see this chap holding something. And there are people like, getting whoever this is. You can see him here handing out things from the truck. And whatever they are, it's like, they look like face masks or something. Presumably to protect against like tear gas or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? But again, these things cost money.
Where is this coming from? Who is funding this? Who is funding this, and where does this come from?
Is paying for this? Who has organized this? Like, organizing anything is not easy, to be honest, when you're dealing with like a large number of people and a very confused set of events. So who is organizing this? Who is paying for this?
Yeah, this
and
is
like
wild.
I said, we definitely know that there are NGO organizations that will be involved in this. There will be a series of sort of low-level leftist activist organizations that receive
True.
again. I don't
Yeah, don't worry, guys. It's just our taxes paying for this. Don't worry. Don't worry. Nothing to see here.
mean to be cliche, but it's definitely going to be money
George Soros.
from George Soros
There we go. Every single time. Every time. It's always George Soros. That guy's fucking everywhere. It's unbelievable.
Foundation to go out and do stuff.
You know how many times I had people tell me, Nux, the reason why I hate Jews is because of George Soros? You know how many comments I get like that? It's like, listen, I heard you were Jewish and I have to stop watching your video because of George Soros. And I'm like, wow, bro. Like, he's not the only guy, okay? Stop. Like, stop, man. It's not easy. Dude, he gives us all a bad name, bro.
Stuff like this. And they'll just say, right, here's the money. The foundation probably won't even give them any instructions or anything.
Dude, I watch German YouTubers, okay? And Hitler was German. All right, you can watch a Jewish YouTuber even if George Soros is Jewish.
Like that. But just go out and do what you can, because these people are motivated activists and they've got a reason to do the things they're doing. But I mean, this is kind of crazy, isn't it? Like, we'll watch the Fox News thing, actually. It's just funny where they're like, oh, right. They're starting to come to the realization that maybe they could do some journalism.
Earlier, that was pretty startling to me. And you see this, these are boxes of masks being handed out.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks seeming to just grab them like candy. These look like they are bionic face shields, which we looked at their website, is basically recommended for machinists and auto body shops as a way to protect one's face. I don't think we expect to have a lot of cars coming in for repair work tonight. So that sort of seemed like the thing that you would have as a precaution if you were planning to or getting ready to potentially have some sort of conflict with law enforcement.
Yeah. So
yeah,
you might think the journalists could do their job.
It's crazy watching journalists just be like, a suspicious box full of face shields showed up. Definitely just showed up, and there it is, and it's as easy as that. Who's George Soros? He's just some super mega rich fucking billionaire guy who happens to be Jewish, and like he funds basically every single like open border policy, random super woke bullshit thing of all time. It's like, it's insane, man. It's crazy. You have the reporters, a random box showed up full of face masks. Let's not ask too many questions.
And actually go and find out how these arrived. Like, you know, you can, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a journalist. Go and find out. Go and find out what sort of organizations are involved.
True.
Go down on the ground. Try and figure this out.
Deploy Space Marines, all right? Deploy Space Marines. And tell them, hey, be merciful.
I don't know. Do your jobs. Or you could sit in a nice air-conditioned studio and say, thank goodness that's happening a long way away from me.
True.
And not really get involved, couldn't you? But the point being, there is definitely someone behind all of this. I do think that the initial energy was probably organic. But that's the point of these organizations.
Yeah, they jump on some sort of emotionally divisive topic and they fucking expand it and contort it into a whole other movement. See, I'll give you an example. I think that some of the protests, like the Free Palestine protests, I think are organic, right? They see people dying in Gaza, and it's sad as fuck. So, you know, stuff like that happens. And I think what ended up happening was people contributed, like, you know, Qatar, for suspiciously, Qatar, who organizes Hamas, by the way, Qatar funds billions of dollars to American universities. It's like, come on, dude, where's that money going? Come on, what's happening at those fucking American universities that they're doing billions of dollars of Qatar shit, right? And then they have a lot of nationals sent from other countries to these universities, and suddenly they're actually protesting the Hamas terrorists, right? Like, I don't think that that's natural. I don't think your average American person would just randomly protest a, like, pro-terrorist, pro-extreme Islamic terrorists. Bro, you have gay people in America protesting for terrorists that would literally execute you if you're gay. Like, that is not normal. That's insane. That is not a natural evolution there. That has to be manufactured.
The point of this activism, harness the energy and direct it into certain ways to make sure that the optics blunders are covered up and to make sure that the people protesting have physical protection so the law enforcement can't just tear gas them or rubber bullet them or whatever and drive them all out. The point being, these people who are organizing and funding this know what they're doing, and they're doing it for a reason. Yep. And these activist organizations...
It's like this super anti-West value that I think is so powerful among, like, the extreme left. And it's gross.
These NGOs, honestly, should be banned. They should be disbanded. They should be barred. They should not be allowed to foment insurrection in the United States. I mean,
it's wild that this happens. I really want to see people actually getting punished for this kind of thing. Like, it is insane.
I realize, again...
And it is an insurrection. It is. It is people waving foreign flags, trying to take down the government from the inside. That is an insurrection. It is. Absolutely.
Really highly controversial statement that I've made there, but I just don't think that should be allowed. Why would any government want to allow, any country want to allow organizations whose sole job is to literally import illegal immigrants and then foment rebellion in the country? That doesn't make any sense. There's no reason it should be permitted.
Oh, Lord.
So these things just should be banned. And in fact, if anything, charges brought against the people involved in them. Sorry, it seems that your entire job is that you're going to break the laws of the country to the detriment of the country, specifically to foment an ethnic rebellion in it. Not having it. I would
This is crazy.
Absolutely ban these things.
Yeah, I would also. These NGO shits are scary as hell. So, in effect, I feel like this was kind of a crazy deep dive. Of course, I'll link him in the description, Sargon of Akkad. But I think this is kind of a wild deep dive. Like, this is real insanity on the horizon. You know what I'm saying? Like, actual insanity. My personal belief is punish every single person that commits a crime. Every single one. If you're part of a violent riot, you get arrested. The end. If you are illegal in the country, you get ejected. The end. It is that easy. But in regards to, like, the other shit, I do think that there are foreign powers, like the Mexican president kind of twisting the nipples of the American people, trying her best to get this shit to actually happen, right? And whoever's controlling that shit. And I don't know. I do think that there is some sort of, you know, secret shadow organization trying to organize this shit from happening. I don't think it's fully natural. And I think really the best thing to do is just actually hold people accountable. I really think that that's what I believe, and that's what I hope we actually see. Trump says it's gonna happen. So far, he's kept his word on most things, so I'll be real. We'll see what happens. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed. I know I didn't. This is scary as fuck. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.